Welcome to the Voice of the Coast. I am your host, Danica. Along with me, we have Sheriff-elect Gary Driskell with St. Mary Parish. How does that feel hearing those that describing you, Sheriff? You know, you were Chief Deputy for so long, so Sheriff-elect, and eventually it'll be Sheriff Driskell.
Yes, it's different, without a doubt. It's a dream come true. It's a goal of mine. It was a goal for many years, and to obtain it, you know, has been great.
And it didn't come very challenging, I would say. I mean, I know it was probably stressful for you, but with 77% of the voters who approved of you being in that seat, how does that make you feel? And is there any pressure having that acknowledgement?
It was pressure, but it was great to win with 77%. But it also says that, you know, the public has a lot of faith in me and the men and women at the sheriff's office, but it does put pressure on you to do a great job.
Yeah, and that's with four altogether overall, you know, four candidates together. Well, three against you, and then you're the fourth candidate.
Yes.
You've been in the position, honestly, for a little while now because, you know, Sheriff Blaze, many people already know, we've actually held interviews here with him, and, you know, we've talked to him, and he's been ill. You know, I mean, it's safe to say that he's been ill. I mean, it's been publicized on social media. We've actually talked to him. So he hasn't necessarily been in office physically, and you've kind of held things down in his absence. So you've kind of managed already as the sheriff. Now that it's not quite official, because it'll become official in July 1st, because that's when the fiscal year starts for the sheriff's department. But I mean, knowing that you kind of already been in that position, a lot of times we have to wait till the old administration moves out before you can start implementing your own programs. Did you start already, or are you now ready to start, you know, putting your own touches on things?
No, I'd already started. I mean, working with Blaze has been a great thing for me. I mean, he's been a great mentor, and he's also showed all the faith in the world in me, and he told me so, and he said, do your thing. He says, I have faith in you. I know you're going to do the right thing. So I wanted to do more community policing. That's huge with me. I know we cannot solve cases and do our jobs without the support of the people we serve. So it means a lot to me to get into schools and talk to people out on the streets and do more community events.
Yeah. And we'll talk a little bit more about what some other, you know, new improvements and equipment that you'd like to put into place. But let's kind of go back to the election. And I will tell you, at that forum, I was in attendance, and I always have my ear close to all the answers and everything that's going on. And it was kind of revealed, especially while you were just speaking on, you know, seeking votes from voters, and some of the things that you guys are working on for the future is a new sheriff's office.
Yes.
And just a little backstory, of course, the sheriff's office that's in Morgan City at the old Sumter Williams High School, you guys will no longer be there. You're looking to be at a new location.
Yes, we're about to buy some property, 10 acres of land right there in Centerville, and build our own new facility that will house the criminal division, the patrol, narcotics detectives, and we will have some type of office, either Morgan City or the local area. But we look forward to having a new building.
So you're also going to have the motor pool, which is already located in Garden City, Franklin area, and
Yes,
it's going to
ma'am.
be housed there as well.
Yes, we're going to have the motor pool, new updated motor pool that will help them provide a better service to us.
Does that mean you're going to have inmates there as well? Will they be housed at that facility?
No, no inmates will be housed there. The only time you might see an inmate is maybe cleaning or cutting grass.
Okay, because you're only, at that point, you'll only be about a mile, maybe less than a mile from the actual jail?
Yeah, the law enforcement center is only about a mile or two away, so.
Yeah, okay. So what sparked the move?
But, you know, the branch office has been good to us, but it's a very old building, and it's very costly. It's been costing us over $100,000 a year between the maintenance, the repairs, the insurance. And instead of having a facility that's really not made for a sheriff's department, you know, we could build our own and actually save money by purchasing a new building.
I'm sure with that you'll have it outfitted with some of the state-of-the-art equipment.
Yes, we've been going around to different sheriff's offices and looking at what they have. We exchange information all the time. Anything that can help each other, you know, to better law enforcement services, we're going to look at. And that's what we've been doing for the past several years.
Well, when we come back, I definitely want to know what that move, that means is going to have two empty or vacant locations. What's going to happen to those buildings? But we'll talk about that when we get back. So come on back right here on The Voice of the Coast with yours truly. Welcome back to The Voice of the Coast. Again, I'm your host, Danica. Along with me, we have Sheriff-elect Gary Driskell with St. Mary Parish Sheriff's Office. And we're talking about the new location. You're going to build a new sheriff's center or facility, or sheriff's office, excuse me, in Centerville, which would be about a mile away from the Sheriff Law Enforcement Center. With that, you're going to move from the Morgan City site, which is the old Sumter Williams High School, and then, of course, move the motor pool location to that site in Centerville, which is in Garden City. So that's going to leave two vacant locations. Any interest or any buyers who might be interested in the Sumter Williams site?
Not yet. We haven't put it actually on market because I don't know how long it's going to take to have that building built. But as soon as we get an idea, we'll put that building up and allow people to start looking at it so that if they have any interest.
I'm just curious, what do you think that building, I mean, was a school, what do you think it'd be good for? I mean, you've had to do the maintenance on it, so what would be a good
That's an
place for
excellent question. I mean, well, it has a gym.
Okay.
And, you know, in the past, we've let the children come in, play bitty basketball and things of that nature.
Okay.
So I think that could be a good possibility. Use that for the children of Morgan City to practice or even play games.
So that's good. That means whoever the mayor, might be a good location, you know, to bring it, you know, give it to the city, right?
That's
okay.
it.
That's just something to think about. Just curious. Now, of course, what about the motor pool site?
The motor pool is privately owned by citizens, so whatever they decide, that will definitely be on their decision.
Okay. Well, let's now talk about the courthouse. Is that going to still stay under the sheriff's office?
Absolutely. The fourth floor will still be the sheriff's office. We'll have civil there. We'll have different departments there, such as the courtroom security, warrants, things of that nature.
So just curious, because I think what was going on, or what we saw, is that you guys were kind of in each touches of the community. You know, I mean, as far as you were in Franklin, and then you were in Morgan City, so you kind of were represented in both sides of the parish. Are you going to lose a lot of that in Morgan City? And is that going to, you know, going to be beneficial to the sheriff's office?
Oh, we're going to have an office somewhere on this side,
Okay.
you know, so the deputies go to if you have a complaint. You can walk in, pay your taxes, things of
Okay.
that nature. We will always have some type of representation on this side of the parish. Of course, we'll be patrolling and assisting other agencies as needed as well.
Okay, let's kind of skip back again. I probably should have asked this earlier, but the election. Again, there were three other opponents, and it's not uncommon that, you know, once opponents and then you turn and you're on the same side, so to speak. Have any of have you guys forged any relationships, you and the candidates who ran against you for that seat?
All three of them reached out either that night or the next day, congratulating me and offering any assistance that they could to me, and it's greatly appreciated.
Yeah. So you are, I'm sure with you getting into office, you know, I know some of the questions are you hiring? You know, what's going on with that? Are you open to new officers?
Yeah, we're always looking for good people, without a doubt. Right now, we have payroll padding, which only allows to hire 5% more workers than what we averaged in the past year. So it's difficult right now because we actually have really good candidates, people that has been in law enforcement, have experience, and we're not able to hire right now because of the payroll padding.
Yeah.
But that will end in about 6 months, and the only way we hire now is if they retire or they quit, we can replace those personnel.
So as of now, though, you are kind of experiencing a shortage of officers on the street and in other areas.
Yeah, we need about 3 or 4 people in the jail and 2 on patrol.
Mm-hmm. And I guess, how is that affecting those who, who work every day, who come to work? Is it, you know, are they getting extra hours? There's a lot of, you know,
There's always overtime to fill those shifts. Of course, with vacations, it's the same thing. But we're doing well. We split up everybody's time and so that nobody's really overworked.
okay. All right, well, we'll take another break. Come on back right here in the Voice of the Coast. All right, welcome back to the Voice of the Coast. Again, my guest is Sheriff-elect Gary Driskell with St. Mary Parish Sheriff's Office. We're kind of talking about the hiring freeze that you're in right now, but you have qualified candidates who are vying for a position over there.
Yes,
So
we're
you're not,
actually
no shortage of applications is what it is.
correct. We're getting applications, and some of them are really good applications with experienced personnel. We'd love to hire them, and hopefully in 6 months they'll still be around, and we'll have that opportunity.
Now, something we kind of talked about prior to this, which I think it means you're kind of in a good position that you have all these people, but right now you just can't do it because of the payroll padding. But, you know, all over, I mean, the nation, maybe even the world, there's a shortage of officers. Why do you think that is?
I think it's a couple of reasons. One, you know, in law enforcement, as a police officer, you do something wrong, it gives a black eye on all law enforcement, and it can be mentally draining on law enforcement. Another huge thing that I see is police officers do not get paid what they're worth. It's hard to raise a family on a salary that a police officer makes. That's why in the last couple of years we've done 3 raises, and we're looking at another one once the payroll padding is over with, trying to raise the salaries of those deputies.
Something you mentioned that it's mentally, draining, right? I mean, it's a very tasking, position to be in. When it comes to training, do you guys offer mental health options for police
Yes,
as far as like their
that's
insurance
a very good
or
question.
training?
Very good question. Yes, we train, and law enforcement has changed. Many years ago, I was in a shooting, and they was like, "All right, here's your statement. We'll see you tonight." It's totally opposite now. We have psychiatrists on staff or available. We also have sent deputies to counseling to become counselors for other deputies, and we'll send those same deputies to other agencies to assist with other officers or deputies that needs counseling or assistance, because if they're not mentally ready to go to work, it could be devastating. So we keep a close eye on that, and we offer that to the deputies anytime, day or night.
I was talking to someone about just personalities of people, on the job. I mean, even with police officers in-house, you got to deal with, multiple personalities with different people. But what about being on the street? I mean, how are you guys able to, what's your community policing like? I mean, because, you turn on the news, maybe not us, but you do all over. You see just either the disconnect between police and community. I mean, how are you able? Do you think here you're able to forge a better relationship with the community?
I do think we have a better relationship here in St. Mary Parish with the people that we serve, but I want it to get better. I know it could get better, and that's why I push so hard on community policing. As a young deputy, I did it myself, and it helped me throughout my career. Getting to know people, getting to trust those people, and them trusting me, because once they trust you, they will tell you what you need to know. They will tell you who's involved, what's going on. And again, like I said earlier, without their support and their assistance, the people that you serve, it's a very difficult job.
Something you said, I mean, you didn't get this far in life, and being the sheriff. You had years under your belt.
Yes.
One thing you're seasoned, right? You got
Yes.
some wisdom. We got a lot of young officers. Would you say that?
We do.
And do you see them open to, because I mean, sometimes they're a little, riled up, they're ready, the adrenaline's pumping, and the wisdom hasn't taken effect just yet. I mean, are you finding that can be,
Yeah,
an
it's a
issue?
stressful job at times, and a lot of them are young, and they're gung-ho, and as they get a little older and mature, I think they see the bigger picture. and that's in the end just helping people.
Yeah.
And it takes a little time.
Yeah.
Like you said, they gotta be seasoned.
Yes, right. All right. Well, we are now 3 down and 1 more to go. So come on back right here on the Voice of the Coast with yours truly. Welcome back to the Voice of the Coast again. So good to have our sheriff-elect, and hopefully when that elect drops and he's the sheriff, he'll be back again to give us an update. But as of now, Sheriff-elect Gary Driskell, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
And we mentioned about just, where you want to take your department. And right now, there are some things in the works about new equipment because, it's good to have manpower, but sometimes technology will help you take it a little bit farther.
You're absolutely right, and technology will take us to a certain level. And recently, we just signed a contract, and we'll have them in the unit soon, which is our dash cameras, and they have license plate readers in them, which will help us as they're going down the highway. They're in a parking lot, reads all the license plates, tell you if they're stolen, if it's an Amber Alert, because Lord knows if we could save a life. That's a good thing. And that's what we're going to continue to do is look for equipment and better ways to serve the public and solve cases and prevent crimes. We're also looking at cameras that we're going to be trying to set up throughout the parish that will give us data and information as is needed.
Yeah. Drugs, have long been an issue. Not just locally, but
yeah, nationwide.
Worldwide,
Yes.
nationwide. And this new defense, I guess, Narcan, it's the point where not just law enforcement, but a civilian can have Narcan, and it could save a life. Is this something that's that you have to have now as an officer, because this is for the individuals who have like fentanyl or heroin overdoses, and you kind of administer this Narcan, and it helps to prevent an overdose.
Correct.
Or death.
It's been an issue for several years, and Narcan came out, and we started carrying it and giving classes to our deputies and showing them how to administer it. And they have on numerous occasions and actually have saved lives. So it's a good thing. Now, don't get me wrong. Like I said, I never thought we'd have flashlights, handcuffed, and Narcan on our belts. But again, we're out there to serve the public and help people. And if it helps save lives, we're willing to do it.
And has that happened, locally?
It has. It has probably about a month ago in Centerville, where deputies administered, I want to say 4 administered capsules on them, and it was able to save their lives. And it was good because the people actually called the sheriff's office and wanted to thank the deputies and say how good of a job they did by saving a life.
I've always said this, and I think I said that if we, at the time, heroin wasn't quite so popular in St. Mary Parish.
It wasn't.
And I think I told, and I'm just going to say his name, it's okay, former Chief Blair, I say, if we get heroin in St. Mary Parish, it's over. Oh, it's going to be a problem. And not to say that, it's all doom and gloom, but would you say that we're seeing just a rise in heroin and fentanyl?
Yeah, fentanyl is horrible. I mean, you're hearing more and more about it, and it's taking lives, unfortunately. And that's, again, why we started carrying the Narcan, It doesn't take much to overdose, and a lot of people are mixing these drugs, and they're not pharmacists. They don't know what they're doing, and they're selling it to people not knowing. They're thinking they're getting this, and fentanyl's mixed in it, and next thing you know, you have an overdose.
And are you seeing those who are more prone to taking it are younger people? Or is it all across the board? I don't know.
It's all across the board. We're seeing a little bit of everybody. I'd say probably more younger people, but it's across the board. Yeah.
And is it because it's just mistaken identity? They don't know, I think I'm smoking pot, or marijuana, weed, but instead it's not? Or do they, I don't know. I hate to say they're consciously taking it, because I wouldn't know. I don't know.
Well, in my experience, we've had people that distributed narcotics saying it's one thing, but not knowing fentanyl's in it. Or they mixed it in it. They're selling it as this, but it's actually that plus fentanyl or whatnot.
Gotcha.
So, and it's definitely an issue across the United States.
And it's causing even more, like when charges are dropped, it's getting, sometimes these are harsher, I guess, charges, could be attempted murder.
Yes,
Is that that's I've seen that happen.
it can be, and Louisiana Sheriff's Association just push for harsher sentencing for fentanyl use.
Yeah.
So,
Last question for you, really quickly, and the last is the investigation that involved a gentleman, Hector Luis Santos, who, and this was publicized, that he was a suspect that died in the custody, in sheriff's custody. Where's that investigation?
it's still an ongoing investigation. We're waiting on the coroner to finish his report and his part of it, and once he's finished with that, we'll come out with a statement.
And just curious, are you guys handling the investigation yourself, or are you bringing someone else outside to do that?
We're handling this investigation ourselves.
All right. With that said, thank you very much. Thank you guys. See you guys next time. Take care.